the special agent and myself asking these questions and his response that I just mentioned.
Okay, so basically, the investigation started
In May. They said it started. They said it started May 22nd.
and the question was basically what happened to this person.
What happened? Yes. They watched the Senate hearing. They got the exhibits. He told me that the HUD audit started. Then I followed up in August saying, well, what happened? And then he said, I'm going to check on it. And then he came back with that information.
Okay, so I just want to be clear. So, So in August, that's when you found out, okay, North Las Vegas can't respond to the audit yet without Clark County's assistance.
That is what I found out.
Okay, and this is after it's an internal investigation.
This was in August. This was August 16th through August 18th that I got this information.
Okay. So this guy in Arizona, Jason.
His name is Joshua Stockman. He is the special agent for the OIG on the criminal side. And he is the person who was assigned to look into the issue. And then he was the one who I had communication with. And then after I found out about Clark County intervening, I then went to Marshall Budge through Senator Spearman. And then I talked to Deputy Secretary McLean, who she assigned to assist me in further identifying what happened and what was going on.
Okay.
That's the loop.
That's the loop. Okay. But once it became an internal investigation, that meant that Joshua was
no longer a part.
And then it goes back to...
It went back to, they have a community development planning program office. I don't have the full, it's just an acronym. And they are now managing it from the regional side.
Managing the investigation.
Listen,
This all sounds so interesting.
I can just share you the emails and you can figure it out from there, because that's where we are, and the residents were just super concerned
Okay.
that, okay, if the RFP process is starting, developers are starting to submit their proposals, and we still don't have this question answered, and they knew during session. I was still in session when this started. So if the residents knew that an audit was starting in May and they didn't have any information and we're in October, there was a question of what's going on.
And what do you think that's going to do to this whole remedy project?
You know what I think it's going to do? I think it's going to put another target on my back. And I think that ultimately what we're looking for is to complete the circle of what SB 450 said should happen, and that when business and industry ask for proof of funds, that they are going to be able to deliver proof of funds.
Okay, and when I talked to Miss Annie's daughter, I forgot her name, she said all of this stuff kind of makes her feel skeptical that we're going to end up back at the same spot where somebody got some money, it didn't go to us, and now we're still here being clouded by construction.
So here's what I would say to that, right? I'm trying to maintain their hope. I'm trying to maintain their sense of that this is going to be completed. And at the end of the day, I want the residents their voices to be heard on this issue. I also want the facts and the documents to follow the conversation that's moving forward. We're not saying anything that I don't have the emails to represent the exact words that are coming out of my mouth. We're also not saying anything that cannot be documented in an actual public document that the city of North Las Vegas has in terms of the Fannie Mae funds and also in terms of the CBDG dollars. And so we want the equity and to make sure that the moving expenses are there, because how will they move their house and be able to move all of their things if that's not covered? The $50K restitution payments also was going to cover their future home insurance payment and their future increased taxes for a brand new house at a 23 level. So it's key to the whole piece. Because you can't expect an 88-year-old woman to have to turn around and pay the new tax and the new home insurance on a 2023 home. So I was trying to buffer these families and build in the money that the prior residents had received for 50K for relocation to allow them to have the 50K to give them a sense of peace that I can know that my taxes are going to be paid for, my home insurance is going to be paid for, because not only do I have a little nest egg there, I have a nest egg there to help me. And that was very important, right? Because I didn't want to burden the women that you saw that are in their elderly. And so it is very important that the city of North Las Vegas deliver on this piece. It's very important that they're responsive. And I know what they're going to say. They're like, oh, you know, Senator Neal, she's not talking to us. Ask them the question why I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking to you because you ran a smear campaign on me. I'm not talking to you because you put dirt on my name after I was fighting for your people. Why should I talk to somebody who doesn't operate in truth? Why should I talk to an entity that when I was seeking truth, you continue to buck the truth? You continue to argue against the truth. You put my deposition in the newspaper for an employee who was suing you for discrimination and then tied it to another story. But then nobody asked them questions about that. Nobody asked them the question on why would you put my down payment assistance from 2010 in the newspaper? Is that a confidential record? And then try to claim that I took $20,000 from my campaign? Are you kidding me? And then when I turned over the title check from the title company, you still gonna run the lies? That's why we're not talking. We're not talking because you didn't want to treat me right. You didn't want to deal with me as a human being and a person who has served this district for 13 years. That's why we're not talking. Business and industry will get the proof of funds from them. I'm not engaging in an entity that does dirt, that tries to put dirt on my name, and then also tries to drag the residents through the mud because they don't have enough common sense to do the right thing for people. So when they answer that, because I know that's what they're going to say, oh, well, we tried to reach out to her. Why would I talk to a liar? Why would I talk to somebody who doesn't do right by me?
Amen.
That's crazy. I've turned over the truth and you still want to run your own story. Use your little lynching dog out there and figure that you just gonna beat me down to the point where I just become too fearful to speak. Well, I'm telling you now, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna bring me into a fearful place where I no longer represent these people. I represent 126,000. This is just the core.
Is this justice, you think?
This is justice. What else could it be after 30 years? It's only justice. It's only the right thing to do.
Which is to pretty much say what happened to them.
Yes.
That's the last thing.
That is the last piece. That's the last part of SB 450 that needs to be answered. The 37 million we have, that's controlled by the state. There's no question on the 37 million. That's just for house and land.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Review journal right here.